And I have a little patch. You know, it might feel like there's a lot of chaos around and everything, but actually I do place a lot of value on having a bit of order on your table beside you, you know, so that everything is easy within your reach, especially having your water close to hand, the brushes that you're going to use, and nothing superfluous on the table. Anything like that can go on the couch, you know, let it go. But yeah, just keep it nice and clear. Yeah. Okay. And then I find it helps me to take my shoes off actually. And just, you know, that feeling of nothingness. Letting it all go and just start to begin to observe. Okay. And as you observe with your eyes half closed, you begin to see the shapes. So there's the light on the face, and then there's a kind of an L shape of light where the neck stops and the hair starts, and the chest stops and the hair starts on either side. So we've got the light in those areas. There's the arc of hair that comes down here, and that extends beyond the chin on the other side. And then the shoulders, which we figure out as we go. Just, I've said before, doing all of this, moving around is helpful. Even just making the shapes in the air allows you to see, allows you to, I think, feel a bit more confident. I think moving from the shoulder is good first. Okay, now what will I start with? I think I'm still going to go for the shadow on the cheek there, so the shadow on the skin rather than anything in the hair yet. And I like the idea of having a sweep of the body diagonally coming in and then the upright head. So I'm going to place the head back a little bit. It's also probably a good idea to have more space in front of the face than behind, so that you feel this breathing space or something, you know. Okay, and I'll begin with the sap green. I'll just do the colours up there. Sap green and cadmium red. Sap green and cadmium red as a way of explaining the shadow on the skin on the right hand side there. Let's start there, yeah. And then I'm going to put a touch of cerulean blue into it, because in the forehead, or actually ultramarine blue, I think ultramarine blue mixes more easily than cerulean blue, and it gives you just a little bit of a cooler quality to the paint. Okay, so I'm going to start on the shadow side of the forehead. Already kind of seeking the direction where the light meets the dark. So you're looking at the edge of parts as you paint them. And then down from the temple. And in every move, getting into a rhythm of seeing and drawing down and feeling that it's good enough. What's there now is good enough. Yeah, so noticing that the skin is more the skin is more coming in the way from the hair. So I didn't want it to have a vertical drop. Oh, let's see. Yeah, so just catch this drop as well, because I'm not sure yet where the jaw is going to be located. And the dark of the runs read as though they're indicating the shadow under the jaw. Okay, so I'm going to go back up here now and find the shadow where the eyebrow meets the light that's on the forehead. And you can see the shadow on the nose running down and relating it to the direction where the hair meets the skin. Just going to keep patching up things. And really down to the chin there. And some of you, if you've been here over the last couple of days, you might find it useful to just find the shadows that I'm going to do first here on a small piece of paper separately. You could start out just looking at the sockets of the eyes, shadow at the side of the forehead, down the side of the face, isolating the darks and lights as though it wasn't a lovely face at all that you were looking at, but just areas of dark and light. Locating where the shadow stops on the neck by drawing a line from there through where the nose shadow is. And then the eye on the other side is maybe a little bit higher, the highest point, I think. Just get some blue because it's quicker. I think particularly yellow's nice background focus there. The cerulean blue goes like cement, it goes really hard when it's dry, so I'm just going to put out some fresh cerulean blue. And actually I've got a nice turquoise here.
Cheat.
I know, cold turquoise is enough for everyone. You see, I'll maybe just try and make it first. You see, I think that is pretty much the colour. It's nice and bright, isn't it? Oh, that's good. Okay, now, because I didn't actually, there was a wild card in my bag. I wouldn't know. Okay. So the other option is to use a mix of Viridian green and cerulean blue. And those two together make a nice, make a good colour. I will use the turquoise because I want to get the reading as though it's brighter at the front. I'm just going to see if that's going to work. So that where the light is falling. God. Need to put on like oil paint there, isn't it? Finding where the neck meets the hair on that side of the body. And the fact that it's going diagonally this way describes the way the seated figure is. You know, the hair is helping, I think, to describe the seated. I'm doing this because the arc, there's a little bit of hair going around the shoulder at the back, and if I were to continue that, it would run under the jaw. So that helps me to know where to place the shoulder, roughly, because I'll be moving the jaw a bit, I'd say, later on. Just so we couldn't get a start from the back of the body there. And of course, what probably could do with being a bit more subdued because it's at the back. Could stick a bit of dark colour into it. And it's a lot of fun playing with colour, isn't it? It's lovely to see what it does when you stick it into you put one colour into a wet sheet of paper. The hairstyle was my idea. I hope it works out right. Okay. Maybe a bit of red on the dress too, would be good. So I'd say that red put a bit of cadmium in it and a bit of alizarin in it. This is taking the heat off the face for me because I didn't really, I wanted to do something kind of where I was feeling looser and freer, or just doing something that'll seriously move it on, because I just didn't want to become fiddly in the face, and I thought I was going that way, I thought. So just having a break from it is a very good idea sometimes. I'm really now looking for the dark of the shadow here before we get to the arm. So when I half close my eyes, it's significantly darker at the front of the arm than it is on the dress where the arm is. Okay. You know, when you put something on, you're not sure about it, splash it then, and that kind of subdues it enough again that you can redefine it later on if you want to. And it just, and if it's very distracting, you could always print off little bits of it maybe. I'm kind of happier for there to be a diagonal than anything pulling it down too much. Okay, so by the time all of that is done, then there's an opportunity to go back into the face and begin to define things there. I'm going to locate the jaw at least and work my way up maybe. I just put some viridian green into the red that was on the palette there. Okay, and the nose is going to extend out. Yeah, the nose is going to extend out beyond the chin. That's why it's maybe a good idea to do what I was suggesting and find your positions on a little piece of paper first, getting the shadows in there. I just want to knock the jaw back a little bit, because I don't want to have to extend the nose out too far. And looking where the nose sits in relation to the eyebrow and the chin, what the space is like there, and then up to the hairline. You can begin to make sense of things as you keep looking. The forehead to me looks about the same height almost as the hair above it. Not quite, but you know, it's almost, the hair above it is almost as high. Sometimes when the hair is tied up we think it's a very narrow piece of hair, but you know, it's about that high, I think. And I want to make it look different from the skin, the colours in the skin, so I'm putting burnt sienna into the red and green. Burnt sienna with the viridian green, I think, is going to make a different colour. A bit more of the burnt sienna maybe. Well, that's okay, isn't it? Green. You can turn your board if you want to get things running in different directions and stuff like that, but just now it's fine. Yeah, I think, you know, when you're working, it's a really good idea to build in poses and stand back very often. Every third or fourth move, stand well back. And so looking at the hair as it meets the forehead then. And these are all it's just one layer of paint, just one layer. So there's nothing too set in stone at all yet. You can easily lift one layer. Especially if you're touching the paper and letting the water direct it rather than pushing it with the brush. Letting the water direct the colour. Okay. You can push up to make the eyebrow. So it's longer this way, so finding the two directions of the eyebrow early on I think is helpful, even if you decide to change it later. It's a good idea to locate the shape of the forehead within the hairline and the eyebrows, and you can judge which eyebrow is higher. And to me it looks as though the corner of the left eyebrow is higher than the arc on the right eyebrow. Just put a bit more viridian green into that to deepen it a little bit. And as a reminder, the tone, you know, the way when, just be aware of the consistency of the paint you're using as well. So if it stays there, it's going to make a clearer mark. If it runs down into the puddle at the bottom, it won't be so clear a mark. So be aware of what consistency you're after when you're mixing. And use your scrap paper like I'm using the side of the board here. Okay, so it's helpful for me to have something that's going to be dark, but blue dark, so that it's going to recede around the face when I want to explain the other eyebrow. And even this eyebrow. So I'm going to push it up and lift. Maybe a little bit of yellow ochre into the colour of the skin. Here. And the blue can come across. The blue can come across a little bit more now. And here. If I had time, I'd put out the turquoise and use that, but this is fine. Just to bring the hair back in line with where the light in the neck is. That turquoise is a good colour, isn't it? So like the bass and music, the darks hang it all together. So let's aim to explain the darks. As soon as I put the dark in the eyebrow, I suppose I felt like I wanted to deepen the tone. You know, it gave me a license to do more elsewhere, to do more darker tones elsewhere. So I'm just injecting something that will describe the cross section of the body, the shoulder there, the dark triangular shadow where the hair meets the body at the back. And even there's a little bit of shadow with my eyes half closed. I can see that there's a little bit of shadow here where the hair meets the top dress. Okay. I wanted the hair to overlap that, and sure, when I've got the turquoise splash over the top again, when that's dry, it's going to read as though the hair is sitting over the top of the neck. Okay. How am I for time? Right. 1 minute to go. Okay. So I'll just do the other eyebrow there, because that will really explain the turn of the head, the other eyebrow and the mouth. So I'm going to be longer than 1 minute. It'll take 2 minutes. I'm just going to bring the eyebrow up so it's got the height on the other side there. And when this dries, it'll dry later, so it's not a big deal if it looks a bit dark for now. And I'm going to do something, forgetting it's an eye over there, but I want to do something that represents the direction. The side of the face goes like that, where the eye is sitting, the space within which the eye sits. Something like that. And then if I put a bit of warmer colour into it, I can find something that will explain the dark of the upper lip. Now when you're going to paint the lips, you might look where the lip ends on the left side in relation to the eye, and where it ends on the right side in relation to the nose and the eyebrow. Or the corner of the mouth on either side, I suppose. Not that you'd have to put a dot in there really, but just to kind of know in your head like where the mouth is going to sit. And it'll be a little bit closer. It'll be a little bit closer to the nose than it is. It'll be significantly closer actually to the nose than it is to the chin. So there's an up and down edge to the mouth because it's turning over there. So I see something that goes up and down the way. And then kind of horizontal where the line of the lips stops and the lower lip starts. And I'm going to pull, I'm looking now to see the direction here where the line dividing the lips would be located. And just putting one move in there and standing back will let you know if you're on the right track, kind of thing, without painting an amazing pair of lips and then realising in the wrong place. And I take the cast shadow. So until you have a few things around there, you won't know for sure if you're happy with the location of it. So the cast shadow of the nose onto the face there might also help. And put a little bit of warmth into it again so it doesn't look too cool, that shadow. And it almost attaches itself to the lips, making no harm. And I'm going to extend that shadow too. That's your 2 minutes. Is it 2 minutes as well? For goodness sake. I'm going to extend the shadow down here so the same colour needs to, I think, appear underneath the lower lip, that shadow. And then how it extends into the face here, you know, it's kind of joining up. Because really you want the clear edge to be, you want there to be clarity on the side where the light is falling. And you want it to be maybe softer than where it undulates around to explain the face. And all of these things don't have to happen while the paint is wet. You can let it alone to dry and do more later on. It doesn't have to be before you go. I want to stick another bit of turquoise in there. Just to clarify things there. And I probably could do with being darker in that area. Okay, that's enough, isn't it? It's enough for now, I think. Yeah, so eventually, you know, you can kind of pull things out and everything, but really, I would say just steady yourself and locate the position of the features through finding the shape of the shadows there in relation to each other. What part of the face is furthest to the right from where you're standing? What part of the skin is furthest to the left? And then see how much the rest of the face veers off that point, you know? So you're really focusing on locating things vertically true to themselves and horizontally. Does that make sense? You know, that's the thing really first. And then every so often, to ease the pressure, do your turquoise and reds and everything out with the face. So you have a bit of easy time. I forgot to say I'm only doing one.
We'll do it later.
Okay, thanks. So have a little break now.